right, people, let's get to it. Great to be back finally after quite a break. You know, not total break, but it was a great break, and I'm now ready to break back into Harmonic Pattern Podcast number 337. Let's get it. Get your free 2-week trial to the only harmonic pattern software anywhere at HPC, at SR-Analyst. 2 weeks, guys. Get it. That's where it begins. Also, go to Harmonic Trader. Okay, get on in there. Get the free material. Please take your time with it. This is not a quick get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a rich-get scheme, and that's what we do. But we're really learning strategy, framework, and other important aspects of how to size up any opportunity in the market. So let's get it. What's going on, chat? How are you? What are you guys doing this summer? Anybody go on vacation lately? Yeah? Great to see you all. JT, Loot, Vegas is in the house. Victoria, always. Praveen, David, thank you so much. Daniel S. All the other folks that are joining us here on a summer afternoon. Unless you're in the Southern Hemisphere, happy winter to you. And let's get it. What do we got? Looks like NASDAQ wants to do a little type 1 run. Type 1, target 1. And some of the things we've been discussing since the last, I don't know, 10 days. Looks like this on an hourly. We decided to come out of the zone, folks, on a deep crab. So I would just absolutely target this kind of a move off of that low, overextended up to 19,352, like that. Also, just what everyone else is looking at, you know, we like to look at the clouds, I guess. Everyone else is looking at static information. We're looking at our surroundings for harmonic relative events. There's the standard fill the gap. That was right around where we are now. But 19,352, probably by Friday. Probably by Friday. Daniel, how was Yellowstone? Are people still petting the bison there? Because I don't know. You know, that is, I don't, you see some videos of people going up to pet the bears and the bison. It's not a zoo. Never been. I'll tell you probably the best national park I ever went to is Glacier Lake in Oregon. Never saw a blue like that. Anyway, that's what's going on after our long extended holiday correction. Remember this back at 21K and then that being like 17.5. So we're already well on our way to a 50%. Maybe get as high as a 618 high to low. Like that. Where are you? 382 clipped on Friday, but you know, the 50 level makes sense. 19.2, target 1 off the patterns, 19.352. So a little counter trend rally. And probably best to just, you know, quick review to catch up on stuff like the Qs, where we did the back test remarkably as low as 424 here on the daily. And then we're looking for initially like 445. So what's the situation? Does the train continue to run? This regression channel go off the October low? It's like that. And that probably is maintained at least for a recovery run. We'll see what happens at the midline. You're 460 now, 480, something like that on the Qs. A little bit higher. All of it, you know, you get a couple of days development, maybe not day 2 or 3, but certainly 4 or 5 with these continued 3-bar continuations. You can take that higher. And that's the Qs. It's been kind of the plan. Yeah, and the SPY. Who said that? Yeah, the SPY, Daniel. You're right. That's probably working out with the most ideal situation of all the markets, because 560 was the projected level we talked about all along, got a hop confirmation with that yellow dot. I mean, it was spot on. I thought 524 for the SPY, but it was just a collapse, capitulation 513. Those are critical numbers going forward, but now the big test. 543.61, we were talking about that last week, is the likely T2. And then what? It seems like a lot of zigzag, right? It seems like, this thing is volatile AF, but, it's still within the framework. So we get to 543.61. We'll look for confirmation. And then I think T2, or as I've been saying all along, if we could come back and retest that structure, 493, 497, after we do this dance, because that's what we're doing. I mean, the 1618 all-time up here, that will be a history book example forever. And, oh, you know what? Software, I don't know why the software is going in and out, but it was on a weekly and a monthly, 561. So we're still resolving this weekly structure. The daily is the 1-2, but a whole bunch of big things. I'm not saying right away, but if we're going to get something to come in October, a little October surprise-ish, 482, folks, would be a very critical test, type 1 realization of that structure. And then we would definitely see, if we get a dot confirmation, that's where larger things could happen. Essentially, relieve what this whole rally has been since October 22, with a back-to-back deep crab in on October 22, back up to the bearish crab. A lot to go on here within the framework. It's I'm more and more kind of favoring exclusive yellow dot confirmation. That's HSI. That looks like this. Give me the indicator with the level. That's always the preferred condition, whether it's RSI or one of our amplified or HSI proprietary indicators. Just the thing to be aware of right now on the daily with today's action, which is, ideal. We're trying to crack like 50 levels. Get above here. We get a little continuation that started last week, especially with the HSI popping up, but then go back, give us another extreme overbought. That's it. Yeah, it's really remarkable. We haven't seen a capitulation like that in a while, and we haven't seen the VIX. Let's just take a quick peek at the VIX. There was somebody in here. I don't know who it was. Somebody could remind me. Someone was kind of mentioning the VIX. I know this is the Chicago, the CBOE. The VIX index was 65. Even that was 36. And, it was pretty interesting. A lot of patterns. Where's the weekly? Weekly had weekly or monthly? There was something down here, but there's some perspective. We don't typically get up to these levels, especially when you're printing money and expanding monetary money supply like our government does, or our Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve is not the government. The Federal Reserve is a private corporation. Who knows who really owns it? But they like to play monkey business. That's why we do Harmonic. Define, measure, frame out the relative natural levels that no matter how much money they pump into the economy or how much inflation they want to create, that we measure the relative harmonic levels. You can't fudge that. So that's a big test. It's not over. Not saying that's a one and done, but you know, it was a big thing. What was maybe that's the futures. Here's the VIX index. I think it's just, you know, take a peek like this. There you go. S&P. That's the S&P VIX, which is the traditional measure. Weekly, like that. Interesting that we actually had some shark resistance at 40 on the VIX. So that's a big deal. Big deal. Daily? Anything? Hello? No. I mean, really, was that a one and done? You know, I'm not there yet with a one and done, and we haven't seen that level. You got to go back to 2020. That's impressive to get that kind of a level, but was that it? I mean, 2020 was. Let's examine that for a second, because it's, you know, not always. It's kind of rare in the markets you hit one number and then you roll over. And this was 2020. Interesting. We had the VIX in 2020 had a perfect bat type 2 right before the you know what, the big cough. And then there's up here 65. Spent several days, many sessions up there, then rolled over. This, where we are currently at 65. Come on back. There you go. That's pretty impulsive, but you're going to take a while. You really want to get under 20 if you're going to see things normalize, and then go. A couple others. I do want to look at some big things. You know, there's big patterns, big considerations in the big stocks, chip stocks, what have you. I think ASML, chip stocks together have yielded some patterns like this where I don't want to ignore them. And I do think this is an opportunity within this longer term uptrend. I mean, ASML is a monster, and look at the weekly. The butterfly reaction down to 791. No confirmation yet here for the return phase. There you go. Almost there. But a critical week. Some of these are at that spot. Others, that's ASML. Amazon is another one where there will be a big opportunity to come. I mean, massive shakeout response, but 135 is the shark to 50, right? Right. That's what we talked about last week. And that's how it usually goes. The first target of a shark is the 50% level, and we don't see any confirmation here. So got to let that happen. Also, at least we get ourselves in front of the train, or at least alongside the tracks, not in front of it to get run over, but this is something I'm eyeing closely. How much time are we going to spend here? 1 week, 2 weeks? We could spend a few weeks down here, but once we pivot out, you know, these don't happen too frequently, where Amazon gives you major retracements within the uptrend. There last summer, okay, was the last time we've seen Amazon, and then you got to go back really April 22. But that's an early signal, doesn't even validate till you pop out. Praveen, for you, man, I can look at the Nifty for sure. Absolutely. And welcome to the show. Okay, you got me, because I know you were requesting that several times last week. Your Nifty, give me the symbol, my friend. What is it? Nifty, is that? I thought so. Well, India is definitely a market to consider. I mean, that chart's like the opposite of China. And that's a generational type phenomenon going on there, folks. You know, India, everyone's always talked about the promise of what India could do. To me, yeah, that's a major situation. Let's call it a beautiful trending continuation where this is just, you're at the top end of the trend. We've seen that on so many of your strongest trending markets that, hey, I love India. Shout out to India. And I probably should be looking at more stocks there. Tata everything, right? Steel, motors. And you look at these trends, especially the 2022 low, that was 80. There's 1,000. Now that's a crypto move. So you're a little overbought, though. I think with all of these that are trending like that, wait for some type of bullish continuation. We do have something developed there. That's Tata Motors. It could be Tata Steel. It's really for that market. It's just a flat out call on massive industrialization for India. Massive. And we still get beautiful patterns. I mean, look, July, June 22, whole bunch of stuff down there. We'll probably get another thing. I like it. You kind of read my mind because I do think India's got a lot to offer in terms of things that I'm looking for the next 3 to 5 years. You want to be allocated there. Thanks. Justin, what's up? Yes, India is a lot like China was in 2000. Couple more. To show you one or two things that are a little overextended, here's Walmart. Guys, and I think Walmart, Costco, these are doing massive breakout moves, but look how high we are above that trend channel. Okay, we got to wait for that kind of stuff to come back in. But no doubt, nothing's going to stop that train. That's remarkable. Walmart, you could have said back in, I don't know, you could have said in 2000 you missed the move, and then you get a 10, 15 year sideways, massive breakout. This is a good chart to actually talk about for a second, because this is the kind of move that I'm looking for in the next 3 to 5 years. Believe it or not. I know it seems like the markets have moved a lot, but listen, once we clear long-term trend resistance like that, especially after a long base, probably a better way to say it, you take on a different character. You just do. And that character can blow you out of the water, where instead of going like this, you go like that. That's Walmart. It's overextended, no doubt. I'm not saying it's a buy yet, but it is an example of clear long-term character change, and that is this is the type of move that I'll be looking for into the next 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years. That's the kind of market I really think is shaping up, and I think it is something that I want to impart to you guys, because in my career of looking at markets like this, markets move in phases, profits come in bunches, okay, and patterns come in bunches where you're not getting the same signal all the time. But when it's there, it usually kind of takes on a character. It's a character phase change shift. That's what I've really been kind of hitting the table about this 1618 reaction. And there's many other markets that are quite interesting, big patterns. Check out something I brought up a while back, and now it's back for the type 2. So we've got a number of type 2 patterns, guys, on big tech. Maybe it's secondary tech. It's not top tier tech, but it's not $1 trillion tech companies. It's more like $100 billion to $500 billion companies that are like this. This is VeriSign. We talked about the type 1. It did it perfectly. Beautiful reaction. And now back down for the 2. Give me a dot, 168 or lower, and then go. 1 or 2 more of these. And this is textbook stuff. Textbook. Adobe. Back down. Did the retest off of the shark pattern. Something, the original move was here. Had a little bit of a drawdown because of the 457 level. But then we did type 1. There's the 2. So if we're really going to see a move on Adobe, trend continuation, you go like that, higher. Speaking of real moves, NASDAQ has moved up about 60 since we started today's session. And I think 19.3. Let's circle back there really quick. NASDAQ futures, like this. Really nice. Where's our 5 minute? There you go. I mean, nothing stopping that sucker until we reach target 1. 352, guys. That's another 300 higher. We see that. We see that by Thursday. We come back. We see that by Thursday. 1 or 2 more. Yeah, Daniel, IWM, the Russell. Is it shakeout, fake out, breakout? IWM. It was threatening, but what was up there? Deep crab reaction. Okay, that's what this was at 220. Now thrown down. What was that? 195 at the low, 196. We're going to look at this. Clearly on a return phase like the rest of them. So book that for at least a 217 retest for Russell. And you want the Russell to run. That's the hourly. Here's daily. It's like that. Better on the daily. And this is a good thing to look at because, folks, if you're not aware of, especially new folks, welcome new folks. A whole bunch of new people continue to stream in, and I'm not trying to grow the channel. I'm really not. I probably should put more effort into that. You guys, please hit the like and subscribe and do all of that. You know, I really enjoy the crew and the audience that it's, for me, it really is to keep my situation fun, share the knowledge, but be aware of the type 1 and type 2. Okay, reaction, come back for the return, and then 1 more for the reversal. That's the framework that we look for. It's just like SPY. And we're always looking for level to HSI, some kind of counter trend to end that reaction. And I draw your attention back to the last crab pattern where you're here at T1. Look, beautiful T1. And as a reaction down to almost perfectly 186.70, but there's the dot, there's the HSI that says, hey, I'm done. Reaction is over. He had a couple of patterns. Remarkable. IWM, real nice. But I do like that return move. Come on back for that. Also, just it's a straight off kind of price action assessment that, look, here's the reaction. Look at the dot. Came in right before the inflection. But take it down to target 1. There's target 1, but it blew right through, but no follow through. You don't know on this day. You don't know on that day that it has ended. Maybe there with HSI, but for IWN, you crack above 208. Yeah, you're fully in business for 224. So yeah. What's up, Leo? CPI tomorrow? Thank you. Yeah, no, it's Justin. I hear you. I agree with that. Like, I don't want to have to deal with the reason why we're not. You know, I don't want to go too crazy. I don't need to invite riffraff in here. We've had 1 or 2 instances of riffraff, and admittedly, I lost my cool and kind of bitched them out. But then we've been great for most of the time. Like everything's been really solid. I never envisioned myself to do this, but it has been great. It's made my trading day to day a lot more fun to get everybody together and do this stuff. I mean, we do the harmonic pattern software and stuff over here, so get it all there at harmonictrader.com. But there's reasons why I do it for free and make all the basic information for free. Become a member, hit the basic members page, okay? And if I did want to tell everyone, we're not doing the additional promotion here on the other platforms. That was only for July, but if you want to try any of these other platforms, they're 30 days free trial, or 2-week free trial, sorry. But the TradingView software, that's what you got to start with, okay? It answers all the questions for, I mean, everything is in there. And then the data, especially crypto, is all in there. And then people were asking me also, which book do you read? Read all of them, but probably volume 3 is where you're going to get all of the updated information in one compilation material. Believe me, the type 1, the type 2, even the pattern definitions, it took years, guys. We started in 1998, and then 04 was the volume 1 with a lot of basic confirmation. Just basic pattern expansion. And then volume 2 had the confirmation. That's 10 years right there. Lots of stories to tell, but not today. Let's jump to crypto. Let's get to Bitcoin. What do we got? Bitcoin had one of the craziest weeks, first week of August. Now, where do we go? Where's the launch pad? Excuse me 1 second. The launch pad off of Bitcoin, will it forever be the Shark to 5.0? It is something that here, Shark to 5.0 is like this for Bitcoin. Come on back. No, there it is. Binance feed. No, come on. I got to remember. Oh, it's Binance. Do I have it turned off? Kind of looks like I have my patterns turned off. 1 second. No. I got to remember what data feed that is. There it is. It was Binance. I don't know why that wasn't coming up. Shark to 5.0, 45.7 is the ideal level that we want to see hit. Okay, something that recently caught my eye with this is that we did manage to have not one but 2 oversold readings there and there, where we did check back 54.5. Okay, but one, and you'd need another bullish week. You know, I was looking for 60,000, 61,000 to start to turn up, and then we make that saucer separation above the 75 level, just so that I'm clear with everyone that nothing has changed on this. We are still gunning for that 1618, and it's like this, because got some questions. Where does 1025 come from? It's that 1618 right there. It's like that. 101, 102. That has been the plan all along. Probably the only thing that didn't happen here, we didn't really get, let me go to a different chart. We didn't get a crab formation. There was no really B point. We end up getting, we were kind of, and this is a year ago, I was saying, all right, maybe we get like a W down to 618, 382 to 50, and then like that. And how are you going to get something more explosive? Well, in your process of development, you hit 100K and you blow right through as a failure. I still think that could happen, but you know, NASDAQ up 435 now, folks. Bitcoin up 1,802K. So if SPY hits 543 tomorrow and IWM doesn't close above 208, then maybe we sell off on CPI. No, Daniel. No, that's not how we do it. We're looking for confirmation. Those levels are minimums, structural minimums, and we're always wanting to put together confirmation with levels. Okay, so when I say those as targets, objectives, they are kind of the general area, and then hone in on that area for confirmation. Like SPY, we were looking for 524. It went to T2 at 513. I'll tell you another one that's really kind of leading the pack here with what it's doing. Binance Coin, BNB, with its shark to 5.0. Okay, this is ideal for how we're looking at Bitcoin as well. You know, Bitcoin could spend several weeks up there and never trigger the full 5.0. You know, I'm looking at that as framework, as ideal level action. But here you go with Binance Coin. This, ever since 645 with the dot, we've been saying shark to 5.0, and it did a big flush. And that is my, I wouldn't say concern, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin had a flash move to the 5.0 and then that was it. But we've always said the real acceleration, you know, close the eyes and just press your buy button, is above the hop level. We very well could, for Binance Coin, get a dot this week, and then that would start the process where, hey, that's done, go for the T2. T1 dollar sign was generated to take us back up. That's the framework. Those are the general expectations of how we view harmonic patterns. I bet you NASDAQ's gonna clip another 100 higher. Maybe we'll circle back on that before we get out of here. It's real impressive. Speaking of impressive, so there are a few things that are impressive. I do have to bring up the Zcash. I talked about this last time, and it's kind of like this. Not much there. Even a month ago, it looked like a total basement dweller, you know, ready for the cemetery. We did have, and we've always had for Zcash, number of patterns at the 20 mark. Now, finally, it gave something up. Is this more than just a flat-out 250% move inside of 30 days? Is this going to lead to more? I'm not ready to say, okay, we're in the launch pad phase where Zcash is going to recover. But Zcash did have some patterns at the low that I think we can respect what's going on here, where like T1's 52. These are still valid targets. They're ugly, not as valid, but they give us a general area. And then we see HSI is trying to generate today. I think that's more about just respecting what's going on there and saying that's interesting for crypto. That's something that should be dead. It should be, you know, kind of laying down in the crypto cemetery for the next cycle. It decided to come out. I mentioned last time, I've got that Grayscale ETF on this one, and that's a lottery ticket, and they're all lottery tickets. But a couple more that, you know, I find interesting. Some things that are possibilities. Well, let's look at total index first, because that's important. That is oversold. It's not ready to go just yet, but we've made a few different hard inflections down, and then hard inflections back up. That's not the prettiest of consolidation zones. And this is where actually time and green bars are your friend. And I've been saying I need to see green candles daily, weekly. We do have HSI dot. We did check back. So just straight up confirmation markers. We do have some things here. This week could very well be like week one. This is how we look at it. Big dot. There's also like a hidden HSI underneath there. With this is the just a kind of using the dot as a general marker. We look at the open of that bar, and right at 2 trillion is critical support going forward. Do we have a 3-bar breakout? Nothing like that. Not yet. And certainly, you know, can we do this? This little regression down correction channel? Can we break out of that? Why? Because our expectation of what we're looking for in crypto in general has always been a price expansion move. Probably go to the monthly might be the best way to look at that. You know, there you go. Long-term crypto trend is still intact. Like there, still on an uptrend. This is the obvious resistance. You know, can we get above 2.8? It's probably better to encompass those highs. And just we spent how many months up there banging against that resistance? So a little corrective reaction, but then let's bring some harmonic M and W magic to connecting dots like this. There's X. There's A. There's B. We've done this with so many. Where's your B point? 88. 88.6. The C point is actually a 50. That's a nice, sizable, fat retracement. Go to a 1618. That has been, again, like Bitcoin and the rest of them, is and still remains the framework, the minimum objectives by the end of January. That's kind of crazy to say that, where you're saying, or maybe, yeah, me, Scott, I'm saying a double by the end of January. If we're not there, we'll probably be, you know, aggressively en route. And I think it'll be clear post-election. Who knows? Who knows? You know, my thoughts about this upcoming U.S. election, having kind of checked in with some old-time friends and family and folks that I've known, you know, just kind of like surveying opinions. And I think it's, you have to kind of compare monetary reality and economic realities of what's happening with this market. Is there a printer that is still on that would say that dollar devaluation is still occurring and hence a supportive argument for Bitcoin and crypto? Definitely. Do I think that the majority of crypto is dead crypto? Absolutely. Okay, but we don't need the majority of crypto to make this thing move. You need essentially the top 10 or even top 5. If that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I hate to say Doge, but Doge is in there. Binance Coin. These are all enough market cap where they could drag the rest higher, but we need to be having other trending crypto and trend phenomenon behind us. Now, this is the probably by far the most interesting total market cap chart of all crypto, which is total 3, has done an ideal type 2. Now, I mentioned this last week, and it's becoming spicier and spicier every week with the fact that we had a delayed look. That looked like it was going into nowhere and finally popped out last fall, scraping the hop level and then going to target 1. Reaction done. Then it came back in a it was a fairly delayed move on its way to XA retest. There's the T2. Folks, that's why you get the software, because all the algos are going to label it out and show you exactly what's what. About the only thing that we look for is after T2 generates, where's confirmation? Oh, next week, as in this week, as in today. Generating a dot. Important points. This means something. It's a big something. Why? Like the others, let's connect dots, because this has been the minimum framework for all crypto. Are we going to price discovery? Depends on where we are. I think this one will make it up to price discovery, but let's take the minimums. X. A to B, what's that? Right at a 618. Interesting. C point, right at a 618. I think this thing's harmonic. So B point's at a 618. Gartley goes to 786 minimum. That is like 940, 950. If we give it a little overspill, level 1 trillion. These are minimums based on the way that is aligned. Yeah, it's at least we have some things here where we go a year from now and you say, okay, what was your reason? What was the harmonic phenomenon that said crypto had a chance in hell to do anything? It's a T2 off the bat from the 2022 bear market, which, you know, that index held up better than even Bitcoin and Ethereum. Interesting stuff. If you're new here, take it slow. Get the exposure to the patterns, and we'll bust through some crypto right now. But once you understand the framework, where the confirmation comes in, then our expectations, our assessments of saying, yeah, you have a retest of a verified pattern, confirmation. What are potential targets against not only the pattern high, but these targets? Like T2 is 850. That should be happening once this week. We get a bullish week. Let's say we're by Sunday. We get a weekly bullish close, okay? Then you bump up your stops. You start looking for executions against that bar where this 540, 550 level is projected forward moving support, harmonic support, major T2 reversal style. The return phase over, start going into reversal phase. Back up. Daniel, let's dig deep on the SPY. 482 on SPY is possible, but let's dig deep on that on Thursday, okay? And man, you should be in my Discord, so contact me. All you guys should be in the Discord. Just sign up. Send me an email at harmonictrader@gmail.com if you're not in the Discord and you want to get in there. And if you have any questions, contact me there. Let's rip through what you guys have. Shill away. Before I shill away, let's look at that others index. Who put that up? The others. Incredible. What's up, Incredible? Incredible. There's others total. That take out the top 10 on that. What's up there? It's a T1 reaction off the crab. Where 170 should be holding, but again, like a lot of the other crypto, when you get a move like that and it's a pretty swift downtrend, like show me where the dot is. If you're up here, what's your last dot? Bearish there. Okay, now we have a bullish dot. And I mean this really to just be as simple as possible. The dot confirmation there's a lot of things behind it. Maybe Thursday I can go in deeper and really hash that out of what's behind the dot for everyone, kind of do a review. But it is the price action development we look for after HSI. That's the bottom indicator. is able to reverse, but it's an early indicator. With the others index and a lot of these that I want to see happen, you get above the 50 level, okay, then you can really start to see acceleration. Much like on the top side, where we were here for several weeks, and then look, finally when we got down under the 50, that's where we saw acceleration. Other note, and this is related to the others outside of that crypto, is get above the 50 on amplified. Okay, that's the others story. And that's all your T coins. You know, that's your all those cemetery coins. Now, I did look at others, and I've been scanning frantically, going through zillions of markets here to get updated on patterns. And there is an ugly bat, and we're going to show you a number of ugly bat patterns. Okay, just because we have a pattern like that at T1, it's just a pretty picture. Is it a trade? No. If we had a dot, a bullish dot post that, then I would say, yeah, T1 reaction. Here is a starting point. Okay, we're still in a downtrend off of that, but you have some things to consider. No doubt, it's like this. Come down. All right, and there's a lot of these that look like that. Okay, we don't want those until they give us a breakout. At least the others index is substantially off the lows. We have a lot of crypto that's down here at new lows. We don't want to be considering any of that. Let's look at a few. What did you guys want? XRP? What's up, Neil? Welcome back. How are you? How's your summer going? Neil wants to look at XRP, and so do I. 58. Okay, what happened with XRP? Got thrown down, suppressed. Thank you, Gensler. You know, and that is also something as crazy as can be. You can get artificial suppression. And I don't want to just say that and say that's why XRP didn't do it. More so the pattern-wise, look, we know that the general 50 level, which we've been saying all along, 47 to 50, like that, was the major support. This came to 40, ran right up to T2, and look, this has been, there's the T1 reaction, T1 dollar sign, there's your dot. What it do? Came back for the retest. Okay, we're either going to come down for a T2, and again, it doesn't matter for XRP because you're not playing for 80 cents or even $1. You're playing for like 250. You know, 135 we talked about last time was the minimum. All right, so pretty well framed out. I think 60, you're going to probably bang 60 several times. Can we get all the way down? Maybe. Not ready to do the explosion just yet, but weekly, it does have patterns here, but what's been going on? A lot of delayed action for quite some time. Almost got a perfect, I think on a, again, the multiple feeds. Hold on. Where was it? On the weekly, was a T2. Really close because of these different feeds. The weekly low was like 31 or 37 cents. And then again, more like Bitstamp, or I would say, where's Binance feed? Hold on. There's Binance feed might be the better one, but they all did the reaction. And Binance feed, because of the exact low to high XA retracement. But there's 92.88 back down, and you know, sideways action. This is a sleeper, folks. This is a sleeper, and it's tough to just say hold it and just, you know, ride through all these 50% drawdown and 30% up. But what we're looking for, again, from whatever this low is going to be, is T2. If we're connecting dots, again, off the high to low for XRP, it is like this. It's a bat. There's your 50. That 40. B point at a 40, assuming that test is the low. That's a big assumption. But your minimum stuff is like 180, 175 minimum. And then, I've had a few people actually hit me up on XRP saying it's the next end all be all. I know there's big XRP files that people that love XRP as like the future of finance, that you could project your one, if we get crazy, cycle maximum type of assumption. We've seen it before. Again, a lot of these were running 1618s. Is $3, but it's not something where you're up and down here fluctuating and then you're trying to capture 20 cents. I don't think anyone is. Stellar Lumens, their kid brother, hasn't done much. Is there anything there? Nice butterfly. It is a T2. Okay, that around 9.2 cents has ideal reversal conditions, and then check it out. XLM is a full T2 back-to-back patterns. Kind of reminds me of Bitcoin. Way back when Bitcoin did the T2 before 2016 at 4,000. But that's also, once you understand framework, type 1, come on back for the 2, and then you do a 1-2 again on the pattern. That is potentially a nice bullish mixture of support levels. And you keep going out on this thing, there's patterns all over the place. Look at what happened even with the crab, like a 1618 early this year or last year, and then right back down. I think that was when the XRP stuff was announced too. But it does seem to me with XRP in particular, a lot of shenanigans. A lot. A couple more. What's up, Mr. Affairs? Wants to look at SUI, and there are SUI, a few others. Doesn't that have a bat down here? There's weekly. Couple dots. Full 886 reset for sure. What's daily look like? It's like this. There's the shark at 46. It's tough because that was a throwdown knife grab. But look, T1 gets generated on the shark with the dot. So the dot came in higher than expected. But let's just be patient on this. Seems like there's a lot of reactive material, radioactive material, hopefully not, happening here. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come back down. It's tough to grab something at one single number and then expect it to do, the super move. Especially HSI is trying to print. That could be the end of the reaction for now. I'm not in a rush. Also, we are doing amazing. It's a week from Wednesday. We will be doing our Tcoin webinar. And let me kind of just float a few of these or update a few of these Tcoin candidates I've been talking about, where we have a model portfolio that I introduced back in December. Things like Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I probably should poke at Solana for a second. And then I moved money out of Avalanche and XRP back in the springtime, looking for an allocation to these more speculative T coins. Haven't done anything with it yet. They've been sitting in USDC the whole time. Here's Solana. Quickly. What's happening today on Solana? Look, high level. It was a 1, back 2. There's the 1-2 process. So reversal begins here, but where's the first dot? It's today. So a delayed reaction kind of a deal. And that's what happened. And so that puts Solana on notice. It won't be official till the close, but got 6 hours, 35 minutes until that closes, and that's probably going to stay bullish for today. You're up 2. and change. But whatever the next daily green bar would have probably, you know, some of the best material possibilities since all the way back in the springtime. And take a look at the relative move on Solana. Okay, we had this pattern going all the way back, this bat pattern. It was a shark on another feed. Where was it? It was a shark too. It was mostly the bat. And the confirmation level came a little bit underneath. It was like 30. It went to 10. I didn't like it. And someone said something to me last week, which I thought was a great comment. I was like, yeah, but you didn't like Solana at 10. I didn't. But I really liked it at 25 once we had some development, once we had some breakout behavior. And again, I directed people's attention to, say, to some of the shows from February, and also maybe it was like more like last fall that this had potential. And now this has I would say renewed potential with a critical confirmation dot right there at 133. And it still is our recipe of a weekly oversold trigger with daily type 2 patterns, and this has both. One other one. Let's go to the Tcoin candidates. Yeah, I can look at Ethereum in a second. Ethereum it's kind of like broken structure in a way. It's not ideal. It's lost its ideal behavior, I guess, but render is like this. Big Gartley. It was a couple of things. There was a bat pattern as well, but the software is kicking out the bigger Gartley. And we've always said that was, generally around 5. And then as this thing fell apart, I said, okay, let's look around 4. It's still early. All of it's early. But you do have a few things here. Weekly dot. That's a heck of a retracement. But uptrend is still intact. And this is the idea for those crypto that have not sustained full reset is, can we get a test of a trend line, letting this be, as we go forward, this would end up being a retracement, a trend continuation retracement? Yeah. Hey, Matthew, what's up? He's a great question asking, can the shark to 5.0 apply to a T2 shark? It can if you have confirmation. That's important. We had, before I go back, let me show you guys on Bitcoin. And I don't know why this is, but let me just show you that exact follow-up. On Bitcoin, the Binance US feed, don't know why, but you're getting a lot more patterns generated than other data feeds. I don't know why, but and it is admittedly the disappointing challenge, because we really want to be uniform in our measurements with all harmonic patterns, hence why we do the algorithms. But the data is not uniform because you have slight variations of data. Okay, but here is this. There's a bullish shark down there. And the shark to 5.0, let's take the bullish version from what happened here. We had, right at that point, shark, T1 dollar sign. And what he's asking is, well, would we assume that the T2 shark there would do another shark to 5.0 as a minimum objective level? But we always want to do within the framework T1, the T1 dollar sign, which is denoted by this level. Okay, and then the T2 on the shark is the 886. That's how it's designed. That was what we kind of outlined long ago. And then, it does serve, though, the 50 level, even on the T2, serves as a minimum. But I would say, where's your confirmation here? Was there confirmation at the T1 level? No. Expected return move to T2 there. Off of the shark. A lot of back-to-back on here. But really looking for that confirmation to come in. And here is another shark. That was a shark up there, folks. Okay, despite I think some people were arguing it wasn't, it was. And again, shark to 5.0, there's 5.0 at the 50, but no confirmation till there. Again, Bitcoin, I mean, it has challenged my patience with crypto for sure. But it's the core holding I have of Bitcoin is almost like a set it, forget it at this point. If I go through, 20-30% drawdowns in any other market would drive me nuts. But with Bitcoin, the assumption is we're not playing again for 68 or 70. We're playing for 1025. That's the long-term take on it. Okay, but could we come back here for another T2? And then the question is, could we have another shark to 5.0? Possibly. That's why we do confirmation, but it needs more time. Path of least resistance, at least for now. Still trying to push higher for now. We've been a zigzag since the beginning of the year on that. And I know a lot of people, including myself, thought we'd be well on our way to that 1025. I really thought we'd be in the 80,000s by now, and we'll get there. Again, it's always been about January, the end of January. Okay. No matter who gets elected, and I really need to save those thoughts for probably another conversation, because it's more about the money that's already been flooded into the market. I've mentioned this many times in the past. That COVID money that was put in 2000 is almost identical to what happened in 2008 with the financial crisis, but it's a heck of a lot more. And the money that they pumped into the economy in 2008, it took 5-6 years to really work its way into the markets, into people's pockets. It will get there. So there is a predefined limit wall of money that is circulating underneath this economy. So it could probably take a lot of shocks. Here's Akash Networks, guys. Hold on. This is another one of those Tcoin candidates. We have let me get more data. Where's the Binance feed, please? I like it because it did a big move early. You've got some weekly oversold signals here, and then the daily type 2 bat is here. We're initially looking at Akash at like 3, but with that meltdown and a couple of counter signals, I said more like 211. But that has to be it. Need some water. One sec. What's up, Carthago? It was so telling that the BOJ hiked 15 basis points and then backtracked 2 days later after the Nikkei dropped 12%. Yeah, that's, I don't want to get over my skis on feeling one way or another. We have to respect that people have money, people are spending money, and they will continue to spend money. That's what life's all about. Spending money, quite frankly. Saving, investing, trading. But for 99% of the people out there, day to day. They're not doing what we do. They are not strategizing, money printing phenomenon and how to profit off of that. And because of that, I really feel like we are going to go through a massive bull cycle the next 1 to 3, 4 years, no matter what happens in November. It could be, my only thought is this, is that the ability of the economy to continue beyond these years may be influenced one way or another. But without a doubt, this gas that's been poured on the fire is not going away anytime soon. Let's do a couple more. AIOZ. AIOZ network. This could be a new Tcoin possibility. It's a AI coin. Okay, what do you see? T2. We need some confirmation, but it's a T2 at 38 cents on the capitulation. Weekly is like this. So AIOZ is really interesting. One, it's held up. We don't find ourselves all the way back at new lows like a lot of, and we will get a dot probably one more bullish week. Also, if we're just going to connect dots and just assume that will hold, we're looking for a price discovery move, which is how I'm lining these up. It would be a 1618. These are minimum assumptions. I'm using this as a framework that if this gets going off of that T2, we get a weekly dot and it really starts moving in tandem with what's supposed to happen to this cycle, it would look something like that. I'm not just saying, oh, that's going to happen, jump on it, but frame out the possibilities. Assess what the B point is. B point at an 886. That becomes a deep crab, and that would be to $2 from 45 cents. Okay, I've done this with all of them, and it is kind of the uniform way to line up all of these that have some life left in them, because other ones like Cardano are things that I think are more in the dead crypto category. Look at Cardano down here. Hovering at 34 cents, back at the lows. That is a different creature than AIOZ. And I think it's important we distinguish those that have a fighting chance and those that don't. Now, here's a beautiful pattern on Cardano. Is it a trade opportunity? Possibly, because we just got a dot. You're in a zone. But my expectation is really not much more than a T1 test. I hope people can see that difference when we're laying patterns, marking confirmation dots, that, that's not a trending market. And that can be said for pretty much any market that's having price action like that. Yeah, Fett is the other one. And Fett was probably where I started to kind of finally, earlier this year, when we caught the move last year, it was like 23 to $3, and I got out just above 2 in a very disgruntled way, because I really was thinking that at 3. Well, here you are back. You hit 68. $68 is the XA. Now, T1, definitely there. Where is the dot? Where do we have all of this stuff? We do is like 80 cents or 88 cents. Okay, if we break out above this consolidation zone, it could be a T1. What's on the weekly? Need a dot. And how do you get a dot? We'll talk about that on Thursday. But look, there's the first step, HSI. Retest, red, red, okay, green. We need one more weekly green. So I would look at that maybe towards the end of the month. I'll go over that step by step on Thursday. I think it's important to understand the internal dynamics of how that dot gets generated. But here, there's HSI. That's Harmonic Strength Index. Okay, it pops out. When it pops out is the starting point. We need a couple of things to happen, but even from the indicator, okay, we want to get that above the 50 to where we could really get acceleration like you had here. We'll get into more of that Thursday. Couple more. Oh, let's look at Ethereum. We are ignoring Ethereum like this, 2,700. What's there? Because we failed the bat. Ethereum was, we were targeting that 2,650. Hold on. It was here. Where did my bat go? It was right there. There it was. And here was the T2. And I was saying 2947. I even posted on Twitter. I thought that would be it. I thought that was we're going to come back. We're going to retest that XA, give us a dot, and then that would be the launch pad, but it's straight through. Now, here's HSI. I've done nothing. Still holding some Ethereum from way back when, but almost got nervous on it. Almost dumped it. Thinking, will we go to 1,800? 1,700? I'm not there yet. I'm thinking we need to come back and retest like 23. It's been a huge disappointment. Ethereum is the inverse of Solana, I would say. You still have uptrend considerations. It's like that, you know, but it's not nearly the same harmonic situation as Solana. So if you were going to choose one or the other from a harmonic perspective, definitely Solana. And we're holding Solana in our core portfolio really since last late fall, and I'm not selling that. I'll sell that at 300, 350. Here's the Ethereum Classics, the other one. Interesting. Little back-to-back phenomenon now on the weekly chart. Okay. This one, I think this one should be a little higher than it's been. And we've been talking about this XA level weekly at 20 bucks. What happened? I just lost my... I don't know why that's disappearing. I'll come back. But you did see the bat. Let me show you. There's the bat. I think it's my computer's overloaded with programs running in the background. But we retest. The number's still 20, even though we're at 1890. But I like the fact that you're back to back there. The weekly level, the daily level, a lot of things trying to trigger here. There's the retest on the daily. Okay, but I don't have confirmation yet. Also, I wanted to say that when we do the Tcoin webinar next Wednesday, the 21st, we will not be entering all Tcoins at the same time. So just be aware. We're going to line them up, and I'll have my list of candidates of things that I think are going to be trending winners. But, you know, we're going to be positioning, strategizing to get in on those as they trigger. What is it? Where's on? Well, there's Osmosis. Big full reset with a shark. That's daily. Okay, we just put in a dot 2 days ago. But I wanted to look at Ando. Ando is another nice strong trending. Where is it? Come on. Ando. There's Ando. Okay. Big flush bat 51. I need a better feed though. Yeah, the same patterns there. Okay, that's good to see. We got a dot. Ando was a 140 at the high, 60% correction. That's just brutal. But I want to see development in here. You are not days but weeks away from that happening. You got to clear this downtrend. Now, this has been a big winner and then paid for it, but we need to work out this action. We need stabilization there. Your weekly looks like this. This is relatively new, this cycle. So I don't have anything really weekly to bark about. Yeah, it's not there yet, but it is on the radar. You know what the other one's on the radar? Is Caspa. Why? Because it's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb. Look, and I've mentioned this many times. This is not cemetery crypto, kids. This has potential to do serious things. And Caspa was a daily shark, a crab here, T1, T2. All right, I need another dot. But the thing on Caspa is that a lot like Bitcoin, above 20 cents, this thing has got real legs, potential. Has to take out the new highs. But boy, I wish most crypto, even if they were not trending as aggressively as this, had that phenomenon. We all can say that's an uptrend, just visually looking at that. NASDAQ just dropped 30 points in about a minute. I'll have to go to that in a second. Anyone got news for me? Anyone have news? NASDAQ has just dropped 100 points. Let me know. I'm kind of got another eye on the screen. Someone wanted Jupe a while back. One of the first, I forget who that was. Guys, I'm just riffing today, trying to catch up on all this stuff. Jupe is like this, and at least it's holding up. Don't have anything there yet. Couple more. HSI trigger on the 5-minute. Bostic speaking. Thank you, Victoria. That's why. I'll go to that in a second. Here's one, guys. Jasmy. This is interesting. 180 with a dot. A nice type 2. Well, depending on which one. I think it was this one. Well, it's a bat here. And weekly like that. I need some more. That one's a real in between because it is holding up here, but where's it going to go? Don't know. Got to keep my eye on that one. One or two more. Injective, and yeah, Injectives like this. There you go. Shark, weekly. Another high flyer. And on the daily, it's like this. Wasn't that? Maybe I'm confusing that with something else. Maybe I'm confusing that with IMX. IMX had this big bat pattern. Not a lot on Injective. Hopefully. Couple more. Maker. It did a 618. I'll look at. I haven't looked at that in a while. It's probably, Zcash and Numer, and what's the other privacy coins there? Maker begins with an M. Scott, come on. MKR. 4,000, 2,000, nothing. I don't have. Oh, now I do. Go to the weekly. This is interesting. Really interesting. There was a crab right at the top. But I'm more focused on that 1554 area. Weekly Gartley. That would be interesting. Still though, if any of these are still maintaining a downtrend like that, we're not going to get that full return until you break out. Patience with that. Monero. Thank you. XMR. That was the one I was thinking about. Who said that? Rogelio, what's up? XMR. Like this. That had some big patterns down here. That's like Ethereum Classic. Yeah, okay, this is, so when I say something is trending, it is somewhat of a judgment call, no doubt, but pull up HPC and tell me what's there. You have clear patterns. You have this prior cycle that is relevant, not as important as the immediate structure, but you have a retest 124. It's like Zcash flatlining, maybe even better. Didn't Coinbase delist these guys and created a nice little selling event, but could not take it out? So this one, an extended, this consolidation kind of bothers me a little bit. Would like to see have seen further development, but it did the one. There's two, T2, but where's confirmation? You have a couple of bearish dot signals at the moment to cap it. Daily looks like this. There you go. Needs time. I need something. You did have a T2 on the beginning of the year. Yeah, I would want to see like another pattern down here. Can we get like what's the monthly? Because this has been around long enough. Yeah, look. Can we break out above that obvious resistance? And this is the thing with crypto. If you're going to get the breakout, if it's going to be a Zcash style breakout, it's not just like 150 to 180. You know, you're really looking for bigger moves. You know, down here, high to low, minimum 382. It's like 260 is your minimum, or even a full 50% retest is, you know, you're looking for like a double. So give it some extra time for that to do the breakout move. It shouldn't be, you know, I've been sitting in too many dead crypto, going sideways, looking for this cycle move. That's one of the reasons why future crypto is going to have to be more trending situations for me personally. We just looked at Caspa. Go rewind about 10 minutes. What's up, JG? Wants to look at LDO. LDO. A lot of people talking about that one as well. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. Looking at that, that's a monthly chart. It's probably new. Okay, weekly bat is a type 2 at the hop, right at $1. That's interesting. The daily looks like that. It's, you know, software's kicking out a butterfly all around $1. Let me check. Is there a longer term feed? Not. This is, yeah. Yeah, that's a little better. What's that? Binance US. That's really something that I'll just call out to all HPC users. Do load up multiple data feeds, but you know, for some reason, the Binance US feed is producing, I think, the best patterns, or at least the most pattern opportunities. That's a hop level. Secondary confirmation at $1.09. But hey, if you failed 84 cents, you know, forget it. It would have to hold here. This is definition of the game of knife catching. Can we get one green bar? Can we get 3 weeks? Can we get a 3-bar breakout? Then to try to jump in there like that. Yeah, it is. Oh man, I wish I only risked 5K in crypto, Daniel. Once you brought me in, I'm never getting out, right? I think we did SCI, guys. Let me see here. Hey, what's up, Den? Den wants to look at SHIB. SHIB is like this. Is SHIB and the rest of those going to do anything? There's SHIB. Printing a dot, but look, 4,400 down to 1,400 or 14 millionths, whatever it is. SHIB on the daily is probably better to look at your first dot since the real meltdown. But here we have, inconspicuous bat pattern looping, meaning you do this crazy move up on a T1 and then all the way back down, 80 or 1,400, maybe go to 800. We don't want stuff. I'll just make it easy, okay? If your crypto looks like that and it's 3-6 months long and no pattern, no nothing, you need to be real patient with it. There's no reason to jump that. Just give it time. What about the other one was, hold on. Somebody wanted to look at Polka Dot from the very beginning, so I didn't forget you. Dot, D-O-T, Scott. It's A and a B and a C and a D. Like that. Polka Dot. Okay. We were talking about the dot back here at, what was it? 550? There was Polka Dot and there was the other one at 660. And they both were on the retest. This escapes me at the moment. I have to maybe go back and look. The problem we have here, not necessarily a problem, but the signal that it was going to take more time was the counter HSI dot. And we'll save that for Thursday. I'm going to talk a lot about HSI on Thursday. But if we're looking at Polka Dot, you have a pattern here. It's more like 4. I need a couple of green bars, like another day or two to get that yellow dot. Not quite there yet. That's okay, though. I will show you this one. Avalanche, all the way back down, hit that 22 mark. There it is. And this is an example of one of those looping return moves. So right here, I've been talking about this for a long time on Avalanche. It came up off of that pattern, big explosive move. And this is one of the ones I cashed out on because we broke the trend line and we were rolling over, that I thought 28 was a possibility. Well, you went to 16, 17. Now you have a dot. Yesterday, Avalanche, I'm still not liking it until it can show me some better action. Need to see green days, green weeks, because green days lead to green weeks lead to green months. And if we're projected out 6 to 9 months, which you should be, that type of downtrend needs to get cracked. I'd rather wait on that and maybe even chase it a little because you're still in the zone between 22 and 28 with objective at T2 at 41. Not the prettiest, but it is at the hop level. You would have to have, your low would have to be there. Yep. What's up? Hugo wants to look at Celestia Tia, and this is from 20 minutes ago, man. Sorry. The same one. A lot of patterns. It is a T2. Okay. And we're just now trying to crack this type of thing. All the way down. Can you get out of that downtrend? Weekly, is that oversold? Yeah. All right, so you have daily type 2 patterns. You have a weekly dot. That's at 5, now 630. Okay, and what we're planning on is if it is a bottom, if it is a low, this thing should be a big one. Like that should be a launch pad for Celestia. So can we crack that downtrend? And because, check out the crab. The crab is like this. T1 up, back down. All right. And that should go up to T2 at 922 on that move. Anything more than that, we will assess as we get there. But we have interesting things coming together. You had the capitulation 2 weeks ago. Great. You're getting dots forming last week and this week, and you're trying to put in some green bars. And you need to see green, guys. We need to see those green bars now. And it's, I wouldn't say identical to last year, but it is definitely repeating or rhyming in a similar fashion as we had last year. I just think the implications for greater upside are possible here now. Okay. Thursday, we're going to get into HSI. Let's dig deep because that is the primary trigger I'm using. I encourage you guys to look for those confirmation signals going forward. Everything else available here at harmonictrader.com. We'll give away a software 60-day subscription. That's been the easiest. It's even easier than the books. If you have any questions, get to me at harmonictrader@gmail.com. All right, that's what I have for today, folks. Great to be back. See you Thursday.